Julianna Pena, women's bantamweight champion, says she is a superior fighter to Amanda Nunes and she is eager to prove that in a rematch to silence all doubters. Amanda in turn wants to regain her title as the bantamweight champion. Dana White, UFC president, says this is going to be one of the biggest fights of all time. This is really getting interesting and has attracted the interest of many in finding out who really the better fighter is. Watch this video through to the end to hear the whole gist about the rematch between the two UFC champions Amanda Nunes and Julianna Pena. This is probably one of the most anticipated fights in the history of women fight. There are also other training events you wouldn't want to miss out on. Stay tuned. Amanda Nunes lost her title as the women's bantamweight champion to Julianna Pena in the second round of UFC 269 in December 2021. This goes down as one of the biggest upsets in the history of MMA after the champ having her 12th fight win broken by a huge underdog, Pena. The outcome of their fight was shocking to the mixed martial arts MMA world as Nunes lost to Pena by second round submission. The first round started off and Nunes landed first with a calf kick, dropping Pena to the mat. Pena immediately returned to her feet and was dropped to the mat again by a jab from Nunes. Nunes grabbed Pena at the back and went for the choke, but it didn't sink it. Pena managed to escape and the first round ended. After getting controlled by Nunes in the first round, Pena was able to pour it on Nunes, who was then seen to be fading out and eventually getting her to the ground for the submission by a rear naked choke. Julianna Pena emerged the bantamweight champion while Amanda Nunes still retained the featherweight champion title. But Nunes partially blames the outcome of the fight on the fact that she didn't enter the fight healthy. She said she didn't go into her fight with Julianna Pena at an optimal physical state. She insists that cardio was not the reason why Pena was able to win in the second round, but rather because she had injuries to both knees from which she wasn't able to recover. She said this forced her to adjust her training and wasn't able to be at the gym at 100%. Amanda Nunes wants to avenge her loss to Julianna Pena and she is highly motivated to get the 135-pound belt back. She is not just after regaining her title as the bantamweight champion, but also wants to show up 100% and prove that she's a better fighter than Julianna. She made this clear in an interview with ESPN. Julianna Pena too had something to say about her victory over Amanda Nunes at the UFC 269. She said her victory was no fluke and she is excited and can't wait to once again prove she is the better fighter. She seems pretty confident and says she is one of those people that thrives in a situation where people are counting her out in an interview with TMZ Sports. A ton of people think that was a fluke. They think she was off on that night. I don't feel that way and I can't wait to prove that naysayers wrong again, she said. Now, the two champs will have a rematch later this year at a date not yet determined. Dana White, the president of UFC, said this will be the biggest fight in women's history. It is really a highly anticipated rematch. But before their rematch, Pena and Nunes will be coaching the season 30 of The Ultimate Fighter, where they will be in charge of teams comprised of 4 125-pound flyweight women and 4 heavyweight men. On Monday, Julianna Pena and Amanda Nunes saw again for the first time since the UFC 269 at the Ultimate Fighter 30 Media Day in Las Vegas. Pena said coaching is something she has always put on her bucket list as she wants to give back to the next generation of fighters and help them be the best fighters they can be. For Pena, she thinks that the journey with her team on the TUF 30 show will build long-lasting relationships as they all fight to accomplish their goals. She said they will be helping each other in that while her team is training to gain entry into the UFC, she will also be intensely preparing for the rematch that follows the show to defend the bantamweight title she claimed, and thus silencing the remaining doubters. Rumors emerged that Nunes will be leaving her longtime gym, American Top Team, to open a private gym. She said she has always wanted a private space herself and that even at American Top Team, she always did her things separate. She emphasized that her departure from American Top Team had nothing to do with her most recent loss and she is not opening a gym to compete against them, and neither did she leave on bad terms. I didn't close the door because nothing bad happened. It didn't go my way, but we made a lot of things together. We made history together, she said at the Ultimate Fighter 30 Media Day. For Nunes, coaching the Ultimate Fighter 30 will be a great opportunity to start off the coaching career that she has always wanted to do. Amanda Nunes' new coaching staff will be introduced when she films The Ultimate Fighter 30 opposite Pena. Nunes' new team will be comprised of several familiar faces she's already worked with throughout her career, the likes of Kamaru Usman, Mike Brown, and Roger Kral, who were former coaches at American Top Team. After the TUF 30 comes the rematch between the two UFC champions, and this is believed will be one of the greatest women's fight of all time. Do you think Julianna Pena's previous victory over Amanda Nunes was really a fluke? Will Nunes regain the bantamweight title? Does Pena have a chance? Comment below. But how best is it to find out than to wait for the outcome of the rematch? It is really an anticipated rematch. Israel Adesanya shuts down super fight with Kamaru Usman. He says it's bigger than money. Israel Adesanya and Kamaru Usman, being champions in their respective weight classes, has on several occasions sparked the discussion of a potential super fight. But no amount of money would lure Israel Adesanya, the middleweight champion, into a super fight with his fellow Nigerian champion, as he takes pride in representing his nation, standing alongside with the welterweight champion Usman. The topic resurfaced when Ali Abdelaziz told TMZ that Usman would fight Adesanya if the price was right.
Bro, listen to me. At the end of the day, these guys, I don't think these guys, they cool, but I don't think it's like best friends.
Right.
Listen. If there's enough money for both of them to fight, they will fight in the park place. I know how people work.
Israel Adesanya responded saying that Ali is just super greedy for money and that the money could be made somewhere else, but for him, it's bigger than money and it's just about the legacy. He also stated the fact that Kamaru isn't also interested in a fight and that they could just compete at the gym. I'm still looking to capture that image of me, Kamaru and Francis as the three kings, because we haven't done that yet together, Adesanya said. Adesanya's focus is rather the rematch against Robert Whittaker at UFC 271, where he looks to defend his title. Is it a fight you would love to watch? Or you think the two African champions really don't have to fight? Leave your comment in the comment section below. Jon Jones is very smart to target Stipe Miocic because it's easiest fight for him among contenders, Anthony Smith claims. Jon Jones to compete with Stipe Miocic in the heavyweight debut with Anthony Smith is not a fan of this call-out. He thinks this wouldn't be the toughest test for Jon Jones, who hasn't competed since February 2020 when he retained his 205-pound title against Dominic Reyes. Anthony Smith said that it is smart for Jon Jones, who didn't announce anything about him fighting until the heavyweight, but suddenly wants to fight, seeing that Stipe is the easiest match for him out of the top 3 or 4 guys in the heavyweight division. Smith explains that while he respects Miocic, he doesn't see him as the best possible test for Jones's divisional debut. Stipe is barely a heavyweight, Smith said. He said he would rather like to see him compete against a real heavyweight. Do you think Anthony Smith has a valid point? Comment below, let me know what you think. We have come to the end of today's video. I'm sure you enjoyed this video, so do well to like this video and subscribe to this channel if you are yet to. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can be notified when more contents like this one are uploaded. See you in the next video. Goodbye.